Hey family, it's Tasha MAMABEAR Prepping. Welcome to the channel. Welcome back to the channel where we just talk about food preservation. We talk about emergency crisis, how to get through that. Basically talk about what me and my family are doing to prepare for different crisis events that could happen. And that is it, okay? So we are going to talk about it today. We're talking about food shortages. We're talking about how to prepare for food shortages. Baby, they're coming, okay? I'm past and beyond the point of people believing me or trying to understand, how is that even possible? I go to the store, it's full. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm past that, okay? Because we're in a time period where it is crucial that you are paying attention to what is going on, that we are not fighting each other, that we are not arguing with each other, that we are not giving our energy to people that do not want to try to expand and open their minds and see what is happening around their country and around the world, to be quite frank. Lots of things looming, lots of scary, to be honest, things happening around our world. And food has been an issue and a concern for a couple years now. For some people that have been tracking this for a while, you've been tracking this for decades and seeing the writing on the wall a long time ago and knew that the potential was here for this to be devastating. And we are just lining up. I hate to say it's like we're doing it to ourselves, right? It's one of those things that, why do we do things the way we do it when there's a common sense way to do things that could make our people, and when I say our people, the American people, right? Our country could be amazing, over the top, right? But we do things differently, right? So we're going to get into it. Food shortages and how to prepare what to do. Okay. First things first, we're not panicking. This is not a video to scare you, to put fear in you, to cause action from being scared and get to the store, buy the stuff, all of that stuff. No, we're not doing this. We're talking about this and discussing this so that you will prepare, right? And you will do a little bit at a time and you will make deliberate decisions that will get you and your family ready, okay? So don't panic. Make a budget, right? You need to inventory, you need to organize your home, and you need to inventory what it is that you have in your home right now today. And what do you then need, right? And you're going to budget, and you're going to be smart and savvy with your money, as you should be doing already anyway with the stuff that we're dealing with right now in regards to inflation, right? You should be shopping sales. You should be getting sales. You should be buying cheap bulk staples, right? You should be buying 2 of everything when you go to the store. What exactly do you need in your home? And then buy that. Do not buy just to buy. It irritates me a little bit when I see these channels that are all about shopping hauls, right? Hey, I did this haul, I did this haul. And sometimes I'm always appalled. I'm not appalled, but I'm kind of shocked at the level of stuff that's being bought. And they're releasing videos like daily, every other day. And it's like large hauls, like hundreds of dollars of stuff. And I always wonder, right? Was there a budget involved? Was there a certain price that was supposed to be spent? Was there a list of specific items to go and get that day? Or are folks just going to these stores to just buy all this food and they're just buying to buy to buy to buy to buy? And there's not a plan. And there should be a plan. You should have a deliberateness of what you're doing. You can go into a store and not have a list, but at least have a plan that, look, I'm going to go down the aisles and I'm only going to be interested in the stuff that's on sale, right? So I'm not saying, if you go into a store and you don't have a list, you're a loser. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying be smart and make deliberate things and don't just buy to buy. That's how you end up with a ton of one thing, a ton of one product. And then you end up having several holes of critical stuff that you don't have, right? That you need. And you end up with nothing in certain areas and way more than you need in a certain area because it's something that you just have conditioned yourself to just buy. And there is such a thing of, you have enough of that, right? You don't need 30 bottles of body wash. You know how long 30 bottles of body wash should last you? I mean, even a decent sized family, that's like, so think that through, right? And then you go and they barely have any meat in their house, right? whether it's pressure can, whatever, meat in general. So that's what I'm talking about making deliberate things. Buy cheap, buy bulk, buy your staples, okay? Ingredients that go in various, all types of meals, right? Meal plan, right? Figure out your meals and double them up, let's say. Figure out your one-pot meals, your cheaper meals, right? This is part of just dealing with recession and inflation and trying to make your food stretch in general. That helps overall for your success when that food disappears off the shelves, because there's a lot of people that are going to be suffering right away, okay? What else do I have on this list? Add self-sufficiency any way you can to your home, right? We've talked about this multiple times on this channel. You know, if you can get quails, if you can get chickens, if you can get meat rabbits, if you can get any kind of livestock, if you can get fish, you have a pond and you're able to add fish to it maybe. If you can start hydroponics and you can have fish in your hydroponic setup. Think about what are the possibilities of you in your situation where you live, how you could have some sort of self-sufficient meat added to your thing. Even apartments and homes that you're renting, you can get small, people have birds, obviously birds, an animal, right? And you can have quails and rabbits inside the home, inside an apartment, and nobody is the wiser that you can have for emergency, right? Could be an income for selling them, for bartering them. There's all types of stuff that you can do. You just have to look beyond and look outside the box and what makes sense for survival. Because when this kicks off, you're going to have a lot of stuff right now. People are like, that's ridiculous. Why would you do that? That's who does that? Who has livestock like that in an apartment, right? Hello. And then it goes left, and then everybody and their mother is like in panic mode, in survival mode kicks in, and that stuff goes out the window. Ain't nobody talking about, oh, I can't believe you had quail. No. They're wishing they had something to put in their mouths to eat at that point, because there's nothing in the stores. There's nothing on the shelves. They did not prepare. They do not have the food in their cupboards. And so it will get desperate, and they will be like, man, I wish I would have done this, whatever, right? It could be something as simple as they live next to a river and they don't have fishing gear, right? And they know that, man, there's a way to get something to eat out of that, right? And they have no way to do it. They didn't teach themselves. They didn't practice. They didn't get the preps. They didn't get the things. And so a lot of people are going to be suffering from jump. As soon as it happens, you're going to have families that are suffering from jump. Okay. What else do I have? Get seeds and grow it yourself. Get seeds, get seeds, get seeds, right? Even if you're in a situation where you're like, I'm not allowed to have a garden where I live, get seeds, because if it goes left, who cares at that point? You can pull out them containers, pull out that dirt, pull out them seeds and plant them, right? You have a little walk area, and the apartment has, like, you know, flowers and different stuff planted, you know, pull some of that up and plant you a little garden in that little strip where that's, you know, around your house. There's already dirt there, right? There's possibly already, you know, water and moistened earth from, especially if it's an apartment that had sprinklers that came on a regular basis, right? Pull that stuff up, pull those pretty plants up and start planting seeds, okay? People are going to get desperate when it comes to food and survival, okay? So at a minimum, you can't garden, you have all your excuses of why you can't do stuff, fine, baby. That's you. I can't tell you what to do, but you better get them seeds, okay? Get them heirloom seeds and get you an option for later, okay? I will tell you it's a tough curve for learning how to grow food. But at the end of the day, if I have those seeds, I have those seeds. And that's up. That's one thing up and done. That is a possible option. Maybe it's you're holding on to them, and then when somebody comes along your path, or there's somebody in your group that does know what they're doing with growing food and growing plants, that's the person that the seeds go to, and that person's in charge of that. Okay, just give yourself options, get your seeds. And we've gone through the last few years a few times where seeds were a problem. We couldn't get seeds. It was hard to get seeds, and hard to get quality seeds, right? You want heirloom seeds, you want quality seeds. You don't want just going to the Dollar Tree and getting those, although those will pop, right? Might not be the best seeds to get. Okay, if that's all you can get, hey, by all means, okay? Next thing is stacking your vitamins, because when you go through food shortages, you're not able to get stuff. If you haven't stacked and thought about it and been able to stack certain things, making sure you have all your meat, your protein, that you have your vegetables, your various fruits, your various dairies. There's a lot of stuff that people prep and have, and people will for sure be eating in their homes. However, they might not have all the food groups. They might not have a variety of stuff. And all of a sudden they go from getting something to not getting it. Maybe they didn't think about dairy. All of a sudden they're for sure eating, but they're eating, you know, rice and meat, and they're not getting any calcium. They're not getting any of the vitamins that you find in your dairy products, right? So you need to get your basic vitamins, get those stockpiled and have those so that you are able to have a balance when it comes to your body and the change that's going to be happening with your body, okay? What else do I have? I already talked about building a menu with your one-pot meals. Make everything shelf stable, right? You need to really be thinking about food preservation. Right now, the action is to actually preserve food. Get it on your shelves. Make it shelf stable. Do that in any way you have to, whether that's pressure canning, water bathing, you're dehydrating, you're getting freeze-dried foods that you're buying, or you have a freeze dryer and you're freeze drying, but you are preserving your food. You're putting stuff in airtight containers. You're preserving food. You've got to do that, but you have to think about the future. At some point, everybody gets smart, and then we go back to the time of you have to be smart and know how to preserve food so that when you get it, maybe we don't have electricity at this point, whatever the case may be, things and dynamics change, and there's not going to be food on the shelves. And so when people get food, they're absolutely going to need to know how to preserve it to make it last as long as possible. Even if you kill an animal, if that's not a meal, a whole meal in one setting, how do you preserve the rest of that animal so that it doesn't go to waste? So get the things that are needed now for that. Get the hunting stuff, get the fishing stuff, get the stuff to skin stuff, get the stuff to trap, get the stuff for food preservation in general, jars, lids, extra pieces for your canner, you know, water bathing, all the fire stuff in case you have to try to do this over a fire, everything that will help you with food preservation, how to drying racks for drying food outside, but be able to keep, you know, flies and stuff off of it. It is very important to just learn one of these skills, and then two, getting the things, because it's going to go through the roof. Everybody's going to be looking for survival stuff when things go left. When doomsday happens, if internet is still a thing and people are still able to get things and order things, they're going to go nuts on the food preservation stuff. They're going to go nuts on the survival stuff, the lanterns, the flashlights, you name it. They're going to go nuts on that stuff. So get that stuff now while you can. Dehydrate. Think about your vegetables in general. You know, if you're not growing them fresh, you should be preserving them now. So you should be dehydrating. You should be canning specifically fruits and vegetables. You should be making sure that you're getting that specifically on your shelf. Same thing with meat. Specifically get that on your shelf. Okay. That fresh stuff, get it on your shelves. That dairy products, things like that, get that stuff freeze dried. However you need to get it on your shelf, whether you buy it, whether you process it yourself, you need to think about those other food groups and get those on your shelf in a shelf stable way. Plan and be thinking about security and fortification, because again, people are going to get very desperate, and people are going to be trying to look for targets, look for people who have food. This is more than just who has a garden, right? This is people breaking into garages or sheds or other places you might have food, or breaking into your home because you're not there, and they're just trying to find food. They're not there for your Rolexes and your jewelry and your TV. No, they're there to get your food. Okay. And so, being smart about what you're letting people see, and letting people know what you have, that you have food, that you have a lot of food, that you have these other things. You need to be very, very careful. So you need to be thinking about security. You need to think about fortification when we get to this point where this pops off. Okay. Because then the longer that it pops off, you know, if it's just, okay, there's a panic situation and somehow, blessing of God, the stores get filled again and it's just a short period, cool. But if this pops off and then does not correct itself, meaning food does not come back, that just gets worse and worse and worse as the days go by. Okay. And then it does become a dying time. It does become you fortify and you lock down your home. Just nobody's going out and doing things. That is serious time now, okay? Because you have stuff to protect, a family to protect, and people are going to get desperate, and people are going to start dying because of different aspects and how this dominoes out, okay? And then the last thing I have is, don't forget the other stuff, right? Food is not the only thing that will be a shortage. You go to the store, there's nothing on the shelves. Well, that's all the meds that go, that's all the water that goes, that's pet food that goes, livestock food, all those things. So remember to stockpile all the things, the other things too. This video was about food shortages, but really it's shortages in general, because when that pops off, that is everything. That's the water goes, the gas goes, all the meds go, the hygiene stuff goes, everything goes, because at that point, panic sets in, and those people that do not have stuff are panic trying to get stuff. Now imagine you throw, okay, the banks have closed and have stopped giving people their money. And then this is what causes the stores to go a run. People are trying to get everything they possibly can get. You have folks that can't get their own money to be able to buy stuff. It's nasty. Okay. And I get it. I get it for those people that are like, Tasha, I just went to the store. The shelves are beautiful. They're stacked. They're just beautiful. There is certain states that have very big, huge shortages in their foods, right? And then you go to certain states and it is full. I used to do these videos from Southern California when I was stationed down there, and I would be talking like this, and then I would go to the store, and my store is stocked, right? Southern California, I mean, the stores are stacked to the hilt. But then I would go traveling. I would go somewhere. I would see all these pictures of other people from different states sending me pictures, sending me stuff. It's scary, okay? It's not cool. And those places where it is just lush and it is just full, those are the places that are going to fall the hardest, okay? Because those people are not ready. Those places where that's, you know, people are like living a beautiful life, eating out all the time. I can't tell you how many people I met or homes I went to and no food in their house, you guys. They predominantly eat out. They're not real big on cooking. They're busy working, whatever the excuse is, and they're simply not ready. And those are the people that are going to be suffering. And those are the people that think, oh, they'll be fine. They make good money. They'll be fine. They'll pick up some stuff. They'll be okay. But baby, if the banks crash, if this is an economic collapse that kind of gets the ball rolling, or this causes the economic collapse, I'm telling you, it's not going to be a good time, because you're going to have folks that have the money to provide for themselves, but there's nothing to get, there's nothing to buy, or they simply don't have the access to the funds to be able to buy the said product. Not cool, you guys. So hopefully you're paying attention. Hopefully you are like me and you're not panicked. I'm not panicked. I'm not worried at all. The things I worry about is the domino effects, the suffering of people. Who's going to show up in my door? What am I going to have to do as a human being to protect my family and my food and stuff, right? Fortification, security, right? Having access to money. What does that look like? A total collapse. Self-sufficiency. These are the other things that I worry about. Okay. Marauders. I'm not worried about the food. Okay. Because we have skills. I told you my family could walk away from this house and survive. We could walk away from this house and go to the woods and survive. We could do that. I'm confident in that. But a lot of families could not, or even would not even know how to do that. Okay. So just some things, food for thought. Okay. Be well, be blessed. Have a great weekend. And I'll see you guys on Monday on the premiere video. We're going to talk about Europe on Monday. Okay. Take care. Bye.